To strict though, strict. Understand? Only person I owe is myself. Strict. I went from strict to strict though.
Yes, people. Welcome back to the channel. Big Stricto here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, whatever it is that these other YouTubers tell you to do, but do it for me. It's not match day. I know this is an unusual live, but nonetheless, it will be a live I'll be doing quite regularly, discussing everything Arsenal and everything in between and outside. So yeah, man, let me just introduce you guys to my special guest, Arsenal fan, Big Colin. Colin, what are you telling me, man? What are you saying?
You hear me, bro? What are you saying?
I can hear you nice and clear, my brother. Nice and clear.
Good, my bro. Good, my bud. How are you?
Nah, I'm not too bad, bro. Listen, welcome to the show, man. Listen, you're the
Thank
first
you,
guest.
thank you.
I popped in my mind. I was like, let me get Colin on, man. After last night, what did you make of our win yesterday? What did you make of the performance yesterday?
Yeah, like just get done in it. It was one of those ones. There's some good things. Ranieri was, that was a great goal. Yeah, it was just like I knew. I always had that feeling because this team hadn't scored since. I think they hadn't won, and the only game they scored in, or the only game they won was their third game.
Yeah.
I bet they score, and it was like an old school Arsenal mistake. The keeper just doing something silly. Lucky he didn't touch the ball. Got caught. But then afterwards, after they scored, then we was just on them, and we was on them most of the game. Do you know what I mean? It was good to see some of the players that don't normally get a start get a run out. It was good to see Odegaard get some more minutes because he hasn't been the same since his injury. He's been doing, I don't want to say the minimum, but there's definitely improvements he needs to be making more and more. He's just seen, especially shooting. Sterling as well. I was rooting for that guy, man. And I was so like, I'm just trying to root for him,
Yeah.
That's it. I've been a fan for Sterling, but when he missed that pen, I was like, bro, it's just. But I don't know. He's obviously not where he was. You can say it's down to minutes. You can see it's a confidence thing now. He looked down because I don't know if anyone saw the end of the game. He just looked pissed off. Yeah, so I'm rooting for him, but when you're going for things, there's only so much sentiment you can give a player. I'm not going to be on his back or anything like that, but I think in terms of minutes and stuff, but it's just because we're down to bare bones, isn't it? And I do believe Sterling needs like a run of games, but he's not really going to get the time he needs at Arsenal at this point. I don't think he's not shown. He's done bits and bobs, but just not enough to say like, you could take a risk on him starting. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing, you hit it right there. For me, he just hasn't given me enough. You
Yeah.
look at Sterling, Sterling is a big name. It's a massive name, and when you think the way we've got him and, the deal that we've got him in, like, we're not paying all of his wages. I think we're paying like 70 to 80% of his wages. So Chelsea are covering the rest. Obviously no transfer fee. So it just made sense. It just made sense. But he just hasn't hit the ground running. It's sort of showing that, sort of the reason why Chelsea got rid of him in the first place. I mean, he's a senior player now. So when you're a senior player, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that, especially in a team like Arsenal where a lot of the youngsters are shining. So as a senior player, you have to come and show levels. And unfortunately, for me, he hasn't shown that. He showed glimpses in some games or in moments you've seen sort of that old Sterling. Even last night's game where
he's doing bits. He's doing some little bits here and there.
Man, like he's stuff you don't see from Martinelli often. Like
He got the penalty, didn't he? Sterling got the penalty as well, didn't he?
He got the penalty, and as soon as he took that ball, I said he's gonna miss.
Yeah, same here. I thought the same thing. I just said, nah. I'd have preferred Havertz to take it, but I did like the fact they made him take it though, because it reminded me of what they did to Havertz that time. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So I did like that, and it shows there's unity in the team. You can see, and it's not through lack of trying either. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's just lazy, because even in the first part of the game, you can see him he was making runs and he's getting frustrated because he was making a run and he wasn't getting the ball, or he'll get the ball to turn and there's no one up there. So I also think the system doesn't suit him to his best, but I do also think there's a decline. Do you know what I mean? I think at City, was the last time we saw him in form. I can't remember him too many times at Chelsea. He had people running off him differently. So and I think just not playing. But I've always liked Sterling, so maybe I'm a bit biased. You know what I mean? But apart from that, going back to the game though, yeah, I just thought it was routine. We did what we needed to do, you know, and yeah, just roll on. Roll on the next round. We got through. We put in a good performance, finishing third. We'd have took that. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
100%.
So I don't think for a team in a crisis, we've done all right in, in the Champions League.
Oh yeah, that is what people forget. Like, I know we lose one game. I mean, I think the Newcastle and the United game, right? More so, I'd say the Newcastle game. I
Mm.
think that was a terrible performance. Like, that was I
Yeah,
mean, United was a terrible performance too. Don't
United
get
was, but we've done
10.
enough to win. We've done enough to win it in that game, though. If you get what I mean, we had chance. Remember, didn't Odegaard miss the penalty?
Missed the penalty,
Exactly.
a couple of
And,
flipping open goals, like Havertz 2 yards out. But I
and the
think
thing, is, sorry
going
to
back,
cut you off.
I think going back
The
to
thing
the
is,
Newcastle game, I
go
think
on, go on, go on.
I think Newcastle played us. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah, 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 yeah,
played
yeah,
us. Like, that was probably one of
yeah.
our worst performances at home. You
In
know,
the two games against Newcastle in the league and in the League Cup, they owned us. They like it's not even ones where you can say anything. It's like no, and even from last season as well. That the way they own us, and yeah, they beat us. Like yeah, those are the two games as well. I was like, no, this is the thing. Arsenal we've not had many that I can think of. Maybe I'm wrong now. Many I'd say good, great performances they expect of us now for whatever reasons. Yeah, we haven't had many of them. We've had more grinding out results and just going for a routine. And then, but the games we lost, um, well, not all the games. The Newcastle game, I would include the Man United game in it because even though we've done enough to win, it always looks bad when you lose against 10 men. Even though it's not as simple to beat 10 men, but yeah, the Newcastle, just because of our run with Arteta in the FA Cup as well, that's a poor loss for those reasons as well. He's done terrible in the FA Cup.
and that's the
Um,
point. The overall point I'm trying to make is I think those two defeats have
yeah,
almost clouded our where we are in the Champions League and where we are in the league. Like, we've
mm,
lost those two games, but realistically we're second in the league. We're
yeah,
third in the Champions League with all the
yeah,
elite. Just remember, the Champions League has all the elite clubs in Europe.
yeah,
Whether
yeah,
it be Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, both Milan sides, like the Germans teams, and we finished third. Only Barcelona, I think Barcelona was second, right? Only
yeah.
Barcelona
Barcelona second, yeah,
and Liverpool. So
and
point being, we lose one game and all of a sudden everything's bad. Like, everyone thinks it's bad, but
yeah,
the wider
yeah,
picture doesn't
yeah,
suggest that. Do you know what I'm saying? The wider picture doesn't suggest that. But anyway, let's go back to last night's game. I'm hearing
yeah,
rumors about Raya being apparently he's injured and he might not be able to make our next game, and that's why Neto started. But I'm looking at Neto, and I don't know about you, bro, but he's don't
no,
look like he's it.
no, bro. That first, he could have made one of the worst mistakes. If he touched that ball yesterday when he
Oh,
dived for it, there's no reason for you to even come out like that, brother. And that breeds uncertainty. All right, it was all right for the rest of the game, and he had some good positioning, yeah. But he's not rare. Do you know what I mean? And that's going to be depending on what we go on with. That's going to be a big disadvantage because Raya always does like you know big
he's our number
saves.
one. He's our number one. Like,
Big saves, but every game, even when a coach, he makes big saves. Like saves, you like that should be a goal, or you know what I mean, or against a lesser keeper, that would have been a goal.
mm,
Yeah, so that's a big miss. And the thing, that's what I'm saying. When you look at the context of our season and the players we've missed, because everyone goes, injuries is no excuse. It depends who gets injured. Yeah, you take out certain key members out of any team, as you've seen with Man City and as you've seen with Liverpool in past seasons. You take out certain players, the injuries can impact you enough, especially in the context of the season we've had with the referee decisions and injuries and just the fixture list of playing hard games. The beginning of the season was a madness.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? And you come
mm.
through all that and people's like, yeah, but what have you won? Like, what we meant to win in November or October? You know what I mean? And there's this big thing like with Arsenal. I find Arsenal in a funny place because we're a team that everyone's first 11 is better than our team. Yeah, Saka's not world class. He's not that good. Odegaard's not good. All right, cool. Yeah, Oli Saliba and Gabriel's good. All right, cool. That's what you're saying. But at the same time, you're saying we should win the league. So we're not the best team in the league, but we should win the league. Like, it doesn't make no sense when people talk like that. It's like it makes more sense. You say, yeah, Arsenal the best, but you're bottling it. That makes more sense because that goes together. You can't say we're not the best, but we should be winning the league. You know what I mean? And I think we've talked about this before. Like, there's a big media, not just media, just this is a big way Arsenal are judged on a different
Yeah, of course.
level to everyone else. And it's everyone wants to tell us how to play as well. Everyone knows how we should play. Everyone wants to tell Arsenal who we should buy and how we should play.
And how we should score. Remember, like, we're scoring set pieces.
Yes, and now how to score.
Set piece. That's all they do. That's all they know is set pieces. Like,
Bro,
I never knew set pieces were illegal until we started scoring them, bro. Like, I never knew how much people hated set pieces.
Bro, all it is, the cameras on the mainstream media, they tell you, they point at something, say, look at this, and everyone starts focusing on it. That's what happens. If they didn't, I guarantee you, if the media never focused so much on our coach, never focused so much on our set pieces, just said, oh, Arsenal got a corner, no one would be moaning about it. But because they've made this thing out of it now, people are, and they start seeing things not there, like, oh, they fail to keep all the time. Shut up. Like, we're not failing to keep, we're not doing anything more, we're not failing to keep any more than anyone else.
It's how we're judged, man. Honestly, man.
It's crazy.
It makes me sick. But
it is what it is, though.
On a more positive note, man.
Let's go positive. Let's go positive.
Let's go positive. Let's
change it up. Not too much moaning.
What do you make of Ethan Nwaneri, bro? I mean, that finished yesterday. 17 years old.
He's like, it reminds me of to a degree when Rooney first come on the scene.
You're giving it that, yeah?
It reminds me of. I'm not saying it like, come, bro. He's scoring big goals. He you know what I mean? He's doing the movement. He's doing the thing. Obviously, I'm not saying Rooney's impact was massive, but I'm just saying it reminds me in terms of youngsters. Obviously, youngsters are coming through as well. So maybe I don't want to say like I'm hyping him up too much because obviously he's only 17 and a lot can change. But bro, he's coming in. He scored a Champions League goal. You know what I mean? The other game, he's just coming and scoring and doing what he is, and it's like he's like a little Saka. You know what I mean? And I think people were saying we should have played him earlier when Odegaard was injured. I think Arteta has done it right because I think there's a game, I can't forget what game it is. He played in that Odegaard position. It was just a bit too much for him. You know what I mean? And I think throwing him into the deep end in the league when Arsenal are struggling, well, not even struggling, but in big games, so that's a lot. You know what I mean? So I think he's managed him right. He's looking good. He's looking like a great prospect. He seems his attitude is right on the pitch. He drives, no fair. He does you know what I mean? If you didn't know he's 17, you wouldn't think he's 17 the way he plays. He's playing like someone, a player beyond his years. You know, and we've got two youngsters in there with Skelly as well. Just like
I love Skelly.
Like bro, they just fit in it, and they see.
Skelly came out of nowhere in the sense that we always knew Nwaneri was like next up in the Arteta youth project. You know what I'm saying? He was the one everyone saying, we look forward to seeing him more this season. He was the one that everyone highlighted, but Skelly wasn't really in the ranks. But then the injuries happen. Skelly's come in and he's almost one of the at this stage, one of the most important players in our definitely in our back line.
100%.
I wasn't pissed about the red card. I was pissed about the possible suspension. Who's coming in there, like, because he's done excellent. Again, like what you said with Nwaneri, he's come in and you would never know he's as young as he is because he's not. He's playing without fear. He's playing with a lot of confidence. A lot of confidence. This is your your breakout season. And you see some people crumble, because the spotlight, it's a different level. You're playing against men now, you're not playing against on the 18s you're playing against world-class players week in, week out. You're playing in the toughest competition. And both of these boys have taken it like duck to water, bro. They've taken it
They've
that
not
far.
looked at their depth. You haven't looked at them and think, oh, like Sterling. Sterling looks more out of his depth than them guys. Do you know what I'm saying? So that just shows you the levels because Sterling, like we said, he's got bags of experience in him. Going to the Champions League and going for the league are not new things for him. They're not new experiences. But these kids are going in there with a lack of fear. Like it's like with Sterling, whether he's dropped the pace or lost it, or whether it's a mental thing where he's just a bit scared of making a mistake. Those kids don't do it. They make a mistake and then it's all right, we'll go again. You know what I mean? And they just seem to be making the right decisions at the right time. You know what I mean? They don't seem to panic. Yeah, I remember the game where Scully played against Tottenham. You know what I mean? He was strong. You know what I mean? And the derby as well, riled up the crowd as well. You know what I mean, they're living the dream in there, but they're not letting it get to their head. They're doing what they need to do on the pitch, and that's what you love to see. People from the academy, that's what you want because
One.
the wealth of players out there nowadays, they're ridiculous. Like you're paying what used to be, used to get a player for like, I don't know, 15 mil or 20 mil saying. Now that player, the same player now is worth what, 40, 50?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Any player of a bit of form, that's 60 mil plus depending on contracts. You know what I mean?
Inst-
Anyone young
Instantly.
and the talent's not there. And the talent, you're talking about strikers. How many world class strikers would you say are out there to buy in Europe?
I mean, is well, maybe off the top of what you said, world class. You know what I'm talking about?
No, not even just good enough that you think. We don't have to say world class. We have to say good enough that you think is of the level to bring Arsenal up. There's. I think you can't think of like more than 8, and 4 of them will be questionable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, there isn't really a lot, but I think also because if you look at how much football has changed, if you look
Yeah,
at that, you know, the whole 4-4-2 system's kind of gone out the window. It's more of a false nine economy now, isn't it? Like everyone's
yeah.
sort of playing. No one really has. I mean, other than City, but I can't really think of anyone who really has one deadly finisher. Do you know what I'm saying? Football's changed, and I think maybe that's possibly why we can't really think of like who's out there to buy it. And again, it ties into what we were saying earlier. I think like the way we play and the way like we get on about with our business, it's more of a team effort, not just a one
Yeah,
person.
yeah,
Everyone's chipping in. Whether it
yeah.
be Havertz, whether it be Martinelli, Odegaard. I mean, certainly from last season anyway.
Yeah.
Odegaard, the defense. You're getting everyone chipping in. Trossard, of course. Nketiah when he was available, Jesus. So I think like it's changed a lot. Do you know what I'm saying? But
Well, like you said before, like you just said, we're scoring from all over. That's why we take the corners more seriously now. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
That's why because we want to score from everywhere because we haven't got that 20 goal, 25 goal a season striker. You know what I mean, we haven't got that. We haven't got that X factor like Liverpool have got. Salah,
yeah,
Haaland he scores goals, isn't it? He has up and down a bit. You could say I wouldn't say he's as good as Salah, but in terms of overall play, but he gets you goals, so he's star man in that way. You know what I mean? Even though this season's, you say he's been bad, but I think he's still the second or third top scorer, right, or
yeah.
something like that.
Obviously,
So
by his standards, isn't it? By
yeah,
his
by his
standards.
own standards, but outside of that, you're looking at players. People, then you're saying people like I don't know. You could say Jota, but he's always injured. Then you've got other people who have little purple patches that come up for a bit and then they kind of die off, like the Watkins and kind of people like that.
Who's gonna say
Yeah,
Nunes? Who's gonna say Nunes for a second?
News. The funny thing about News is he's just a pest, though. But he can score you some brilliant goals, but then he'll just miss some ridiculous chances. He's a frustrating player. But
Very, very
yeah,
inconsistent.
yeah. But no. But overall, talk about strikers like you're saying. Does having a out and out striker really change it? Because if we get a striker, but we don't adapt our style of play, it's gonna be the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you got a striker dropping
We
off
need
and coming back,
a finisher, bro. Like
yeah,
it's
that's what we need. Yeah, yeah,
someone who
yeah.
just I'll take a man that's 1 in 4 like
Mm.
conversion. I will take that. 4
But you
chances,
know what?
one. I will take that.
Like
You
I was
know,
saying last season, because have we got a rest now? When does our rest come? When do they get the break?
was supposed to be the Champions League.
Hmm?
Now, I think the Champions League format has messed up a lot of things. This new format
Mm.
because
Before we go on, actually, what do you think of the new format?
I mean, I still don't understand it. Like, I'll be honest with you. I've read up on it. Like, I don't understand it. Maybe because I'm lazy. Like, I don't want
Yeah,
to understand. I'm used to the old stuff. I'm used to the group stage, like four teams in one group, the
yeah.
top two. Like, I'm used to that. But this format, I mean, we'll finish third, so I'm still still understanding what it's about. But so far, so good, bro. I can't
No,
complain. What do
to
you
be
think?
honest, I like it. I like it. I used to hate the group stages before. I used to think it was so boring. I did not used to like it. They didn't seem as much as a risk. This one, with what was going on with City yesterday, it felt like a bit more excitement to it. Like you wanted to watch about 7 games yesterday. I like it. I like the format. Um,
That was mad.
Maybe a bit different. The only thing I'd maybe change is the same team you play home is the same team you play away, and he's just on one big league. If that makes sense. That's the only thing I'd maybe change because you could play like some people can get to play like only a couple hard games, but they're all at home, and then you know what I'm saying. So that's the only thing I would change. You play the same team you play home, you play away, but you still stay in that league. Yeah, but so it's just about how much points you get. But no, I liked it. I liked it. It's the first time I've properly been engrossed in the Champions League group stage. Obviously, last season I wasn't really bothered. I thought it was kind of boring. And when we used to be in it more regular back in the Wenger days, um, I used to I didn't enjoy group stage. I thought it was boring. I thought it dragged on a little bit. I think certain games were just pointless. With the league, this league,
certainly
it always feels like, hmm?
towards the certainly towards the end of the group
Yeah,
stage.
yeah, exactly. Towards the end of the group stage, all right, sometimes now and again you get 1 or 2 games where a team has to go for it, but normally, yeah, I prefer this way because then it seems like it's like a league. I like the league format. But like I said, the only thing I would change is the home and away games. That's the only thing I would change. But I don't know. We'll see how it ends. We'll see how it ends. We'll see how it carries on. After a few years, everyone will get used to it anyway. And I think yesterday is when the first time I understood it as well in terms of, okay, so these teams that finish, I think it's below 25 or something, they're out.
Yeah,
Or the teams below 20, like I forgot which number it is, but they're just gone. And then if you get in that top 25 or 20, then I think those up to to those that finish eighth will have to play each other, and then whoever wins that gets to play finish in the top 8.
yeah. But I mean, there's still things I'm still trying to figure out. Like, for example, I think the draw, like, there's a couple hard fixtures. I think
Yeah, there is.
Man City, you've got to play either Real Madrid or Bayern.
Bayern.
Yeah,
There's someone else in it, wasn't
yeah.
it? Real Madrid,
No, I
Bayern.
think it's two teams they've got to play. I think it's out of the two. I think they've got to play. Which I mean, for us, is interesting as you know, as we got no
Yeah, because we
skin
get
in
to
that.
sit. We're out of that, so we get to sit to
Yeah,
watch that.
yeah.
We can watch
We
that.
got we got to chill and relax in it. But it's
Yeah,
again, it's interesting. But yeah, talking about the Champions League, let's talk about the potential four that we've got to play. So we've got PSV, who are top of the Dutch league, Juventus, who are fifth in their league, Feyenoord, who are fourth, and AC Milan, who are seventh. So, I mean, looking at those teams there, there's star men in each sort of team, or more than one even. You know,
yeah,
Juventus, Vlahovic, Kai Conceição, AC Milan, of course, we've got Lyle, Pulisic, Morata, and a few other familiar names there. So my question to you, like, who would you not want to play? Who would you want to avoid out of those 14?
See, this is the thing with me. Um, we've still got Champions League experience, still gaining our Champions League experience. Not many players in our team have played Champions League football before, and we've got a manager who's only managing the Champions League for the second time in his career. Yeah, and he's a young manager. As in he's only been a manager for 5 years. So I fear against these teams that have Champions League experience because I think that counts for a lot when you get to the latter stages, depending on your style of play. Now we've seen the style of play of like teams like, say, like I'm going back a bit, and maybe I'll use them because it shows I'm not hating on them. So remember Tottenham back in the day I say back in the day when they got what was it 5? Remember the way they played though to get to the final. They played different to every other team. It was just rushing teams. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes that can work for you against teams because they want to slow it down. And your European football's always slower. When you rush teams like that, that's why I think Tottenham and Liverpool. Well, Tottenham only got to that one final, but Liverpool did reasonably well in Champions League. Like they got to a final 3 or 4 times, winning it once, I think, or whatever it is, or 3 times. But my point is, with Arsenal, I suppose a team I'd want, like, even though I know AC Milan, we said they were 7th.
Yeah, AC Milan are 7th on the table.
Yeah, but then even now, though, I think PSV, they're doing well in the league.
They're doing well in their league. Feyenoord are, so going, if you're talking about every other team that being experienced, Juve, Milan, and then PSV, of course, top of their table. Then
You know
Feyenoord
what?
probably the
You know
ones
what?
out of that probably one, no?
You know what? You got to play the best it is, and you get what you deserve, and it don't matter. So I'm trying to. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't matter who you get, man. It doesn't matter. There's no one I want to avoid because you're only going to avoid anyone for so much. Yeah, just hope we've got a fit team when we face them. I know Saka won't be back by then, but yeah, whoever, man. Like none of them. Like if we can't beat any of those teams, any of them, then we don't deserve to go much further. I think them
No, but
teams are all beatable.
I think I agree with you, but I think you want to beat the best, but sometimes you might not want the best there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's all like a weird thing. Like, so for example, if you think about the World Cup, for example, like you've got Argentina, you've got Brazil, you've got France, and maybe you've got Denmark. Like
Yeah.
everyone wants Denmark.
Denmark.
Like,
Yeah.
you just want
Is there a team you want out of, is there a team you want out of them
huh?
lot then? Is there a team you want? What are you
I mean,
looking at?
for me, I think like yes, you got to beat the best to win or whatever. Not for me. I want it as easy as possible, bro. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't like if we could get fucking Leeds United next in the fucking Champions
Champions League. But what about if we lost?
Barnsley, bro. But I'll take them teams next round, bro. Like, but honestly, like out of those, I think Feyenoord. I think I would take
Yeah,
Feyenoord
yeah. On paper, yeah, final. Yeah, that makes sense.
on paper.
Yeah,
But I think AC are mad tricky. Like they're not
yeah,
playing great football,
yeah,
but a lot of these guys, when they come to Arsenal, when they definitely play against Arsenal, always feel like they've always played like they got something to prove. All
yeah,
in time.
yeah,
Pulisic, ex-Chelsea, Rafael Leao, he's a star boy, so this is a big game for him to to spread his name or his status. And then Morata's another one, ex-Chelsea. Like it's I want to avoid those lot. I mean, if we get them, then I say cool. We have to beat what's in front of us. But if you're
yeah,
asking,
yeah.
I'm definitely trying to avoid like the tricky ones out of from what you see there.
I look at certain things. We haven't conceded at home in the Champions League. I know that record's only lasts as long as it lasts, though. But we've got a good solid momentum in that. Yeah, like on paper, you'd want to play the easiest team, of course. You want to hold off playing to the harder teams as long as you can. Do you know what I mean? Unless you feel that your team is overall strong in every area. And I think if we had, Saka flying, Havertz actually putting his chances away and stuff, it would be a different conversation. Do you know what I mean? But with all the injury problems we've got, possibly just by our fingertips, in my opinion, in the league run, because I think we've had so many chances to catch Liverpool, and we haven't. We can factor in why that's happened as well. It's not just blatant, we've just been rubbish. No, it hasn't just been as simple as that. But we haven't. Liverpool have dropped points, and we didn't capitalise on that. So I think, because at one point, when we drew the other day, or one time when the gap was bigger, and then Liverpool must have drew or something. I writ off the league. I said,
I think it was the Everton game. I think the 0-0.
yeah, yeah, something like that. And then I was like, I writ it off. When the gap looked like it could possibly go to 12, but it didn't. But I writ it off. I still don't really. To me, until there's a game where Liverpool drop points and we gain on them, I'm not I'm not really thinking about the league too much. I know a lot of people are thinking, "Oh, it's there." To me, it's Liverpool's to lose. Yeah, and that's it. And until that happens, I'm not really thinking about the league. But Champions League, we've got a good run. We've got a good chance. You know what I mean? You have to be in it to win it. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like, it depends on the form we're in as well. Because when will the next matches be? When will that be? In February?
February.
No.
Yeah.
When?
I did look. It was early. I think it was the first week of February. I'm pretty sure that's what I saw, but I might be wrong. People comment. Let me know in the comments. I might be wrong. But listen, I'm gonna go to our main topic.
Yes.
Ollie Watkins. As
Yeah.
you can see there, our £60 million bid was rejected. So obviously, I'm looking here. I'm just thinking this is fake. This is all fake. You know fully well that Villa are not gonna sell one of their star players in this window, and especially when they've got his backup on the way out going to Saudi for what 75, 70 mil. Knowing that, listen, the things we know as fans and the guys outside of what goes on behind the scenes compared to what they know, they would have already known the status of Duran. They
Yeah.
would have known the possibilities that he's going to Saudi Arabia or he's definitely leaving Villa, right? So they would have known that on that note alone, Villa aren't selling Ollie Watkins at all. Because out of the two strikers, yeah, Watkins has been there the longest, so he's the more proven. Watkins' attitude is, from what I understand, to be exemplary, top professional. And whereas John Duran, he's had a few spats with Emery and, throwing his toys out the pram. So, I mean, if you look at it from that way, ain't no way, unless someone comes in with a deal they can't refuse, but ain't no way, they're selling Watkins. So for me, I just feel like this is the Suarez sort of situation again. It's that 40 million and a pound sort of thing, where it's like, are
Yeah.
you not actually serious? Like, is this
Yeah.
serious? Because how are you trying to get me Watkins and expect them to sell to a direct rival in January?
Well,
In January, bro. What's going on? Like, what you not take us for, bro? Like, I don't
it's
understand it.
we like obviously don't know what works on behind the scenes. So you don't know who directly is responsible overall for this. You don't know if someone's been shying at someone to get this done for the deal for ages. Because Arteta's made it publicly known that we need stuff, right? He's gone out
Yes,
in a press conference and said stuff, right? So
he said it. He's
for
never
me,
hidden away from it.
yeah. So for me, on that basis alone, unless he's front in front of camera, he's being honest. So we don't know how these things run behind the door, behind doors. So we just assume or guess based on little information we have. But yeah, like you said, it's like the Suarez thing again. I remember the Suarez thing was annoying because even though it come out years later that we did actually activate his thing, you're not serious doing that. Why would you do that? Just go in for put an extra 5 mil on it, and that's it. Be serious and stop doing things late. Like I heard, we only put in the bid that he got through to him on Monday. Like how long the window been open? You should have bidded it from him. If you're going to bid for him and make it serious, you bid straight away first. Yeah. If you're serious, or don't bother, because if it's a case of someone's slowing up the process, then that's got to be dealt with. Because really and truly, if we wanted Watkins, we should have bought him summer window just gone, not now.
Exactly.
Yeah, we should have. My problem with Arsenal for a long time in a lot of areas, and don't get me wrong, not all our windows have been rubbish. When we got Rice in that, we were proactive. You can see where we finished in that season. We wasn't far off. We improved. Yeah, and we had Champions League for the first time as well. And normally, when a team has Champions League for the first time alongside a league campaign, one suffers. Neither did. Well, the league didn't. You can't say it suffered. We didn't fall off completely like other teams have. Do you know what I mean? We handled that. And again, this season he's been consistent. But going back to the original point, yeah, just be serious. Stop being reactive and be proactive. It's just a problem for it. Because the problem, if it was about Watkins, and people could say, "Oh, we didn't know Havertz was going to drop," or they thought, "Well, Havertz was originally bought to replace Shaka, right? So he wasn't meant to be the striker."
And even that is crazy because he's nowhere near the level of what Shaka was doing. He's
Yeah,
not even his game. Like, let's be. It's not even his game. Like what you see Xhaka doing, taking free kick, long diagonals, thunderbolt of a shot, will shoot from 30, 40 yards.
Yeah,
All of that does not apply to Havertz. One
not at all.
scintilla. Not
Not at
one
all.
thing. Like the
So
only
you've
thing
done that,
in that midfield is that Havertz is aerial. He can win. He can win an aerial duel. That's
but
just
that's
about
not.
it.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for a midfielder, though. And you wanted to place my man, who's the engine as well, alongside Odegaard. But you now we've got this kind of hybrid player who's not 100%, who misses easy chances. He's not as bad as we thought he was, because he's matched what he's done last season already. He might have even bettered it now. But no, he didn't. Who scored yesterday again?
Jorginho and
Yeah,
Waneri.
yeah, Georgie penalty. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, yeah. So we'll see, because like I said, we've got the second half of the season coming up. But going back to the Watkins thing, yeah, it's just not serious.
It's
Too reactive, not proactive. Like, should have
not.
went for him.
And I'll tell you why it's
Done.
not. I'll tell you even further why it's not serious. And a player like Watkins, he's going to be 30 this year, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's
yeah.
not. No, he's not young. He's not young anymore. So
No,
there's no sell-on value.
yeah.
There's no sell-on value. So if you're buying him, you're sort of hoping like this is his last major gig. Do you know what I'm saying?
Look, let's call it what it is. Like, really and truly, it's a panic buy. Really.
I don't even think it's like Colin. I don't even think it's that. I don't even think there's any intentions to get this guy. I really
Oh,
don't think.
he's a red herring. He's a red herring.
I just think it's just to say, oh look, we've tried to get someone, and and
Yeah,
this isn't on Arteta, because I know Arteta wants a player. I know this isn't on him. This is
yeah,
on whoever is pulling out and okaying and green lighting and red lighting stuff. That's who this is on right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you can't tell me as of yesterday, yeah, you've known we've needed a striker, yeah, or a forward. Let's just say, yeah, even before the injuries start happening to Jesus, to Saka. In between, we've had Odegaard. We've needed a forward before the start of the season, and then the
yeah.
injuries happen, and then lucky for us, we then enter into a January window, and we're not making use of it. I just don't understand. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, what? Let me
Well,
ask you, how much Villa have obviously rejected a £60 million bid. How much? Like, would you? No, okay, what wouldn't you pay? What wouldn't you pay? I think that's probably an easier question for Watkins.
the thing is, like I said, um, this is going to be saying silly, and it's going to be saying like 60. If it was to tempt their hand, I think 60 for a player that age. Because he's not like he's a world beater, He's not like he's on Harry Kane levels and putting him away.
He's missed. By the way, let me just add what you're saying. He's missed the most of the biggest chances in the Premier League, which I believe is 19. So he's
Yeah,
top of that list.
yeah, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. And I don't know if overall he's. We need someone. That's the thing. So we need someone, but at the same time, I'm thinking like, but do we really need him for that? Like, for what else we could possibly get? Do you know what I mean? Because suppose he comes and he don't make an impact. He could have a purple patch. That's the thing, is the if. But I don't know. I don't know if there's a price. I don't know what 70, 80 mil. It starts getting silly. You know what I mean? Even 70 mil sounds
Silly.
silly. Even 60 mil sounds like a good evaluation. I feel, for the reason you said he's 30. You're not gonna make any of that money back at all. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not gonna make your money back on him. So that's a loss as well. Yeah, unless he wins, and then there's no guarantee he's going to. Like you said, he's missed the most chances. I just don't feel, for all the players that we've been linked to, he's the one to go. And hopefully, oh no, hopefully it's a red herring and they're looking somewhere else, and he just did that to throw this in. I don't know, but I have little hope that we're signing someone this season. This window.
I mean, if everyone's fit if everyone's fit in our team, does Watkins get into it? Does he start?
Exactly, and but when's Saka due back? Is it April?
What month are we in?
We're in February. Well, we're going to be in February
March.
tomorrow.
March.
March. So
Yeah.
4 weeks then.
Yeah. But end of
Mm.
back end of March.
All right. So, and then you're looking at because it's a hamstring injury, so you can't even rush him back. Um, I would like to see that's a combo. I would like to see Watkins because obviously you can see the potential. You can see what he could do. You know what I mean? If the thing is, if you're missing all those chances, that means you're also getting in those spaces to miss those chances. If that makes sense. So maybe if you're around different player, maybe if you're hitting, making a keeper parry it, or you're hitting the post and Saka's there to, you know what I mean? There's those little scenarios there. But I don't know if there's a price. I can't put a price on it. I wouldn't say because 70 mil for him sounds too much to me. But
I
if
mean,
you spent 70 mil, yeah, but if you spent 70 mil and you won the title and he's scoring goals left, right, and centre, then you'd
I
pay
mean,
100 mil for him.
I'm not particularly against Watkins per se, but um, I mean, especially at this moment, like it's like beggars really can't be choosers because we
Yeah, yeah.
nobody. And if 60 mil, 70 mil is going to get someone through the door, then fucking so be it, man. Because we've seen Chelsea spend millions of pounds on players that aren't producing. So possibly the money ain't even an issue like that, but it just needs someone that's gonna come in and hit the ground running. You know what I
But
mean? Now that
my other,
now that Duran is going to Saudi Arabia, they had a target from Leverkusen, my fellow Nigerian Victor Boniface. Victor Oko Boniface. He was supposed to go, but I think that move has been pulled off because of Duran's move. So he's potentially available. I don't know how much you know about him, and if you do, would you would that be someone you'd be
what's he
interested in?
stats? What's he saying? What's he saying? This guy.
I
Who's he
mean,
playing?
he's at Leverkusen. He's 24 years old. Um, he scored so far in 10 matches, 6 goals, 2 assists. Not bad at all. And 1 Champions League goal in 3 games.
I'm just
A6
looking him up.
says
I'm just
1 1.
looking up his name.
What's going on, brother? Hope you're good. Don't forget to hit the like, my bro. Don't forget to share and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. A6. Big up yourself in the house. So,
What
yeah,
you say his name was again?
Victor Boniface from
Yeah, yeah,
Leverkusen.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Boniface. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm looking at him now. Okay.
So he's a,
Six goals, 10 matches, 6 goals.
yep.
Okay. You
I
know
mean,
what, bro? I just think we need. What? How old is he?
24, Nigerian age.
You know what, bro? I've got a brethren. Actually, I don't even say that.
That's the best he does when he scores.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, no. You
Yeah,
know what, bro?
he's cold. He's cold. He's cold. I'm not gonna lie. He's cold. He's cold. You know, but yeah, I
Bro,
think that John Duran going to Saudi because he was meant to go to the same team as John Duran, but I think they've pulled the plug because they're getting John Duran. So he's sort of available. So I
but
don't
this is what
know.
I was saying. This is what I was saying to someone. So when in the summer, uh, my mate Jamie,
Yeah.
Jamie Bell, big up
Yeah,
Jamie.
big up, Jay.
He was saying about getting what's his name from Sporting. He was
Gyökeres.
talking, yeah. And I was saying because he was the one everyone wanted, I was like, we're not gonna have Havertz and him. We're not gonna get him in summer because we're not gonna have two big wage, possibly big signings. We haven't got that to put on the bench. I was saying we needed a striker, but someone that's like, a level below or something. Because remember, this time Havertz was doing all right. When he
Yes,
started the season, we was thinking like,
hey, yard man. Big hey, you gotta get on the
yeah,
show. Big
yard
up.
man, yeah. Big up yard man. But
Yeah,
yeah,
go.
yeah, bro. I knew we weren't going to get. I knew we weren't going to get a top striker in summer, just because of the whole thing that we built up Havertz and all the drama around that. I think it didn't make sense to me. We're going to build up this player to be a striker. All these fans that are backing him, and then what we're going to do is replace him with another striker in summer. Because remember, at that time he was looking all right. We didn't know what Havertz would or wouldn't do for the next season. He was having a good record for the beginning of the year. But yeah, I think, bro, I wouldn't say no to that. I'd say he's young.
He's young, man.
How much did he cost?
I mean, I think his buyout is about 40 mil.
Yeah, bruv, that's to me. He's young.
I think his buyout is 40 mil. Look at Laurie's calling me. Hold on. Yo, Laurie, I'm on the live. I'm on the live. I'll call you back, bro.
Tell him to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
on YouTube.
No problem, no problem. I'll shout you back. Yeah, can I get you on the next one? Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I want you to do something for me as well, by the way. No problem, bro. Come on.
Next week after the City game.
No problem.
We'll talk. I'll let you get on with your team.
All right, cool.
We'll talk later.
All right, then, bro.
We are live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, bro. So that's the kind of thing I was saying we should get for summer. Like, I was thinking a player of that. We got rid of Eddie. Right, to me, Jesus was always going to get injured this season. Jesus was always going to get injured.
That's in his contract. That's in his contract, bro.
Yeah, he was always going to give us
You have
a
to
little
get
purple patch.
in his contract.
Yeah. Like he's going to have a couple of games. He will come and score a hat trick or score a couple of goals, do a couple of good things, give him a little run, and in the most innocent way, he will just get an injury and he's out. You know what I mean? Like if you jar your leg against trying to tackle someone, it's just so typical of a way of him to get hurt. You know what I mean? Not trying to do something or a mad tackle. Him trying to tackle someone is just typical. But yeah. So I always thought Jesus was gonna get injured. I thought we should have got rid of him last season just for the fact of his injuries. I think he's a great player and stuff, but he just doesn't play for us. Same thing with other players. Like they're good, but you never get like even 20 games out of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Boniface would be a good place to take a risk on. It's 40 mil. Because another thing, if you buy Watkins for like 70, 80 mil, you think they're going to spend again in the summer?
Bro, you know our team, bro. You know our club, bro.
Exactly. So sometimes you have to think
our club.
if they get him for 40 mil, he's still young. He's still going to have sell-on value. It makes more sense. You know what I'm saying?
But the problem
But
is,
if you get Watkins,
them lot was trying to sell him for, I believe, 70 mil to Saudi Arabia, Leverkusen. But the deal fell through. The deal fell through. So I think they'll probably be looking at a similar sort of package, like around. But listen, I will do it because we need a striker. We need a forward.
60 odd mil on him makes more sense. We can sell it on. Even 70.
Profile. He suits the Arsenal profile. He works hard.
Man.
He's relentless. Do you know what I'm saying? He's a link up man. He plays.
I'm just looking at a couple of I'm watching some clips of him on YouTube now.
Watch him. You know, he's skillful, very technical. You know, so he suits what we're looking for. Like I think the whole there's a few names, Gyökeres, there's Osimhen. Like for me, I would take Boniface over Osimhen. Like, a lot of Nigerians get on me on that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
But it is, man. But yeah, Morgan Roots says yes, homies. How you doing over there? Great work, bro. Stricto.
What's going on, my bro?
Do you think we will do any top striker like Ole or Lookman? Lookman, I think you mean. Who's Ole? Who's Ole? I don't know who Ole is, but yeah, what like Lookman?
Does he mean Watkins?
Oh, maybe okay. Yeah. I think that's probably who he means. Do you think we do? Listen, this is what we're discussing right now. I think the Watkins deal. I honestly think that deal was fake. Window shuts in a few days. We've left sort of Villa with little or no room to go find himself another striker. So yeah, that's
not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not serious. You should have done it at the beginning of the transfer window if you're serious. You've left it too long now. And like I said, when everyone knows you're desperate, the whole world is saying we need a striker, bro. So it's just
we get the desperation tax on top of that.
Exactly. So I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, if they do spend what everyone Watkins, I'm not going to moan. I'm going to be like, I don't really care because it's not my money, innit? So, but then I just think of the ripple effect of knowing Arsenal, knowing us, because all right, going on we're going away from the transfer window, but in terms of areas we need players, where do you think we need players? Like I think there's 3 areas, but what do you think?
I mean, Saka's no doubt. I mean, you can look at Nwaneri and think, could he cover that? But I still think we need to cover that area. I think we need an Odegaard. I think we need someone in Odegaard's position, and then possibly, left back. Maybe you could argue, but yeah, I think for me those. Do you know what? And yesterday taught me that we need a number 2, bro. We need a number 2 goalkeeper.
Oh yeah.
I
bro.
think yesterday showed me that, man. I don't think. Maybe we're being a bit too harsh on him because it is his first game playing.
Yeah, but that first mistake for their goal was just it was
He
it,
tried to save it. That's what bugs my mind, bro. He actually dived to save it outside of his
I'm
box.
saying like that's just panic mode. Like, you've lost your head. Then you've dived. That's just a craziness, bro. That is as bad as almost a pass back and you pick up the ball. That is just is
Yeah.
on their levels, bro. Because it's bad enough he scored for past you, but if you was on the edge of your box
We're down
and
to
you can't,
10
all
men.
right, fair enough, yeah.
We're down to 10 men.
But you're in nowhere land, no man's land. Sorry, not nowhere land, no man's land, and you're trying to dive, bro. Yeah, you're gonna get sent. Oh, you weren't even that desperate. Just let the ball go past you, bro. Because we would have won anyway. You'd have put us in a mad position for no reason. They could have scored. I feel the kind of game it was yesterday is we wasn't gonna lose. We wasn't gonna lose. We was gonna just play a little bit sloppy, maybe, but he wasn't gonna lose. It's routine, but you could have made that mad, and the pylon would have been on already. You know what I mean? Putting on a pylon already. Maybe so. Yeah, but what was he talking about again? I forgot.
Let me just read some comments here. Yardman says, "People." Let me read it in his way. People, people, people.
What you want to do that?
Yardman and Stricto will be dropping some content soon. So yeah, man, as you just said. So me and Yardman will be doing a weekly show. We're still trying to iron out a few things.
That's gonna be big. That's gonna be big.
We'll be doing a weekly thing. So yeah, big up Yardman, man. My guy. Me and him share. Sometimes me and him share the same views, but most times we don't. Me and him are always arguing outside this. Always. Every time I see Yardman, we're always arguing.
Shout
But
at you like he shouts at Robbie.
but I don't tolerate. I don't tolerate it.
that's gonna be some. Wait, whoever's locked into that show, yeah, make sure the speakers turn down a little bit because it might blow. That's gonna be loud.
So yeah, big up Yardman. And another comment here from Paul Abutu. Love Stricter always from California. Big up my guy. Love and respect always wherever you are. I appreciate your comment. And I
Big up, big up.
appreciate that you subscribed, liked, and shared because I need the algorithm gods on my side. So yeah, man, big up all of you.
You know what? I always see them. I always see them saying this on the YouTube channel. Let me say it. So make sure you like, subscribe, share. Yeah, get on that. Big Stricto.
That's it. So yeah, we're gonna get on to our next game, which is on Sunday.
Boy.
Wow, I nearly missed not making that game because I was thinking the game wasn't even this week. This coming, I thought it was the following week. But yeah, it's this week. I've made plans already, but I'm gonna have to change them plans because I'm not missing that massive game. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, now I'm there on Sunday. So yes, Man City Arsenal this Sunday. Colin, how do you think that game is going to go, bro?
I don't know. Did you see that game yesterday?
Highlights.
Yeah. Man, you're like a wounded animal right now, and you've seen the last few games they've come back. It seem like they're back on form. You got Foden finally scoring. I think he scored like something like in 4 league games in a row. Haaland, I think he's scoring one aways, but he's not running away like before. I think if Arsenal man up, I'm not saying we haven't manned up, but I think if Arsenal, and they got no reason to it's not like before where we're going in like underdogs, years ago. We don't go into these big top 4 games like underdogs no more.
No.
And I think if people remember the whole be humble thing from before, we'll see how much that plays on people's minds. There's a bit of hostility between us and them before. Good thing the managers like each other, but
I don't think so. I don't. I legit think their friendship was broken down. I think.
I think I saw that interview where they tried it. And they tried to stir it. I think they're cool, man. I think they're cool. I think it's more the players at the most. I think them lot all right. I think them lot. Who knows? We'll see. But I think they're okay for after when they both, because especially when Arteta rectified what he said and what he meant as well. But that comment, and his comments always get taken out of context. Someone asks him about the ball. He says what the ball is. Apparently, he's blaming the ball for losing. It just gets stupid. But anyway, the game. I don't know, man. it's not that I'm nervous about City. I'm nervous about what the result. I don't even know if nervous is the right word. I'm apprehensive of what the result could done our title again, because that's what we are. One, technically, it's like we're always one
One,
loss away
one,
from
one.
being out of it. But then it's like but then it's like Liverpool don't go further as far as they can. Do you know what I mean? So every time we drop points, it's like maybe they don't drop points that weekend, but then the following weekend they will or something. So it's a bit annoying. It's like we go away from them and think it's out of touch, and then they come close to us and and then it's like, so I don't know. That's why I think the title's kind of gone, because that gap is so big. It keeps getting lesser, then wider, then wider, then lesser. Do you know what I mean? It keeps like a yo-yo effect. So, but yeah, going back to the game. No, man, I think my brain is telling me it's going to be a draw. My heart wants a win, obviously. So I don't know. Like, I don't think we're going to lose, though. That's the only thing I'll say. Trust me, the first time I'm saying this, my first my first football show on YouTube, and that's my thing. I'm saying we're not. I don't think we'll lose. It's at home.
I mean, they've got injuries. Well, they've got one key injury, which is to Rodri, which actually happened against us when we played them
Yeah,
at the Etihad. Obviously, we're not going to it full strength. We've got our key man out, Bukayo
yeah.
Saka.
If Saka was playing, it'd be a different conversation. If Saka
Yeah,
was playing, it'd be a different conversation.
but ultimately everything's sort of the same. So now, would you start? Like, would Sterling start for you in that game?
No, no. If other players were more on point as well, like say we had an on point older guy and that, and their relationship was better, I would probably start with Sterling. But no. Ranieri starts for me over there. He probably won't. He probably start with Thingy though, won't he? Oh, you can't even start with my man. He's out, isn't it? Yeah, he's got a limited choice, isn't he? He can only play Sterling and Ranieri there, right?
The team basically picks itself. You can either do Martinelli and Trossard and Havertz.
Trossard.
Martinelli, Trossard, and Havertz, those front three, which will
But
probably
what he
do.
seems to have been doing lately is bringing Martinelli on, innit?
Yeah, but I think he rested Martinelli with this game in
For this
mind.
game, yeah. I reckon you're right. For the experience wise, he's gonna use Ranieri as a wild card depending on the game. So you probably start with Martinelli, Havertz, and Trossard. And probably Rice. I don't know where he's gonna put Party.
I think.
Um,
I mean, I don't want to see Partey right back
no,
again.
do I? But
Bro, I've been
I feel
saying
that's
this for the
gonna.
longest time. I'm tired of that Partey experiment, bro. I'm tired of it.
Yeah,
Yesterday, yeah, you saw his legs go, bro. You saw it, literally their first goal. Partey,
and you know
Partey,
what?
Partey done in that position, bro.
And City have got some speedy attackers now. They got this guy in the window as well, innit?
Amouche,
Um, yeah, and we used to play the squad from yesterday. I think he scored the last or second goal, just running up.
Savino.
Yeah, yeah,
If you remember the first game we played against City, he done Calafiori and then got Haaland in, and that's how they scored their first goal.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So
don't think he does that. I don't think he does that
Skelly,
to Skelly. I don't think he
yeah,
does that.
yeah, yeah. I think Skelly's got the experience to start. Then obviously the rest of the back three, sorry, pick themselves. Well, Party, whether he plays Party there, it depends if he goes on the offensive or not. And I think in our position, we've got to go on the offensive. Not saying we wouldn't go over the offensive at home to City now, but I don't. The thing that bothers me is the mentality thing. Ability wise, I think we've got enough to beat them. This is the mentality. That's the thing that bothers me. Will they get a bit? But then again, City's in the worst form, so their heads might go before ours. But I just think because of what happened in the last game, because of what we're possibly in the position to do, I think City's going to turn up. You know, they're not going to come. I'm not saying they didn't try to turn up in other games, but I think it's just teams just seem. You see when Arsenal play them. I want to say they always play their best, but if we're playing good, they normally play good as well. So
I'm gonna say
yeah,
the
I
main,
think
the main thing is that I know what happened the last time. I
yeah,
know what the atmosphere is gonna be like when I rock up on there on Sunday. I know it's going to be loud, but the most important thing is not. It's got to be another game. We've got to look at this game as another game. Don't get
yeah,
too
yeah, yeah,
attached to it because of the whole be humble stuff. I mean, At the end of the game, yeah, or if we're winning, yeah, but don't get drawn into it where now you're now having to emotionally recover from something that's got nothing to do with the game. Nothing to do with the game. Do you know what I'm saying? It's
I
got
don't
to be
think. I don't
another.
think I leave the Hibs.
Huh?
I don't think. I think the way how Arsenal have been this season and the temperament of had him on the pitch, I don't really see him getting dragged into stuff like that. Like, do you know what I mean? But you can never tell on a day. Like Gabriel used to be the player I'd think was the most fiery one, but he seemed to just
You never know.
handle it well.
Everyone knows about our situations with refs and the red cards. The last few
Oh, oh, oh,
just get
yeah,
emotionally. You know what I'm saying? That's why I just want it to be a composed, professional performance. There's another team. City haven't beaten us at home now in the last what? They didn't last season we beat them at home. The season before
yeah.
that was it a draw? I think it was a draw. So like we're getting there, and that's another thing a lot of people don't give Arteta credit for. Yardman, when I get you on the show, we're gonna talk about that. There's a lot of things people don't give Arteta credit for. And that top four, that top six, whatever you want to call it today, yeah, he's massively improved that record, bro.
Yeah.
Massively.
Well, this
It's
is
not
the
even
thing.
close.
Like, obviously, we've been watching football from a long time, So let's take it back a little bit. So when we first got Arteta, yeah, I didn't want him. Like, training manager, no experience. I didn't want him. Like, why did we go from Emery to him? Yeah, didn't want him. Then as soon as I accepted, like, we've got Arteta, I remember being in a football group and I was saying, listen, because all these couple guys were like, oh, Arteta's great, blah, blah, he's going to be this, he's going to be that. I'm like, cool. I don't know what you're basing that on because he's got no record. But for me, in the Prem, I'm comparing him to man like Lampard and Gerrard. Yeah, yeah, had these brothers because they even had more experience than him. But I'm saying Arsenal was in a mess at the time. So what do you expect him to do? I said he'll finish eighth if he's decent that season. No one else would say where they'd finish. He finished eighth. Yeah, and I said, listen, if Arteta is anything as good as you man say he is, because no one was back, no one could say where he'd finish. I said in about 4 to 5 seasons, if he's good, he will just be getting us into the top four. Because what do you expect from this guy? I didn't know no one knew what would come in it. So I said, that's the best I can hope for. So for what he's doing now is kind of beyond the expectations I had for him, if it makes sense. Because it weren't only that he's getting us to top four, it's the way he's getting us into the top four as well. Yeah. The way he's getting it. But people like just think, I don't know where this kind of attitude come off. Yeah, he's been a manager for 5 years, so he's got to win. He's got to win trophies. He's got to do this. This. Like I remember back in the day, bro. Like it'll take a manager how long to win trophies, and it wasn't just based on that. It's based on how you progress the team. Now, I'm not saying Arteta's beyond criticism because I knew he was going to make mistakes. He's no one's beyond criticism, but you got to look at the bigger picture. Like our record against the top four before him was atrocious. Slaps, bro. Yeah,
Bro,
slaps,
we weren't even losing, bro. We were getting slapped.
slapped. Yeah,
4-0,
slapped.
5-0.
Madness, bro.
You know what I'm
Madness,
saying?
yeah. And now he's shored that up, yeah. But you obviously don't get a trophy for that, so it doesn't matter. What are you talking about? He shored that up, yeah. The area that no one talks about. Do you remember for years, since Gilberto, people have been crying out to sweat our midfield. Oh, we need a DM, we need this, we need that. No one has that conversation no more. That used to be the conversation every season for about 15 years, bro. Yeah? Since what, 2004, bro? That used to be a conversation every season. And now, Arteta fixed it. No one even talks about that position no more. Like, it wasn't never a problem. And people, like you said before, people, when you do something good, people just take it as granted and then just start looking at the areas where you're falling in. To me, he's a new manager, bro. Like, he's competing with Pep. He was competing with Klopp, managers with decades of experience behind them. Yeah. And you had you had Lampard, who went to Chelsea,
Flopped.
he was in a much better position and flopped. Arteta had to rebuild his team. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's perfect. No manager's perfect, as we've seen with Pep. But people forget, when they want to talk about trophies and stuff, and they want to talk about, Arsenal made no progress, they're bottlers. Like I was saying before, how can we be bottlers if you don't think we're the best team in the league? You know what I mean? It makes sense. So, yeah.
The agenda moves. But for you, what would it take? Like, how long would you give Arteta before? Like, obviously, we've had these two.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. Because when you say things like that, people say, oh, he's going to make him places. And then I think
so when, like,
you got two options. Like, to me, I look at things in this context. Do I believe we have the best team in the Prem, man for man and squad depth wise. No, yeah, we haven't. In my opinion, we haven't. That's not to say our players ain't good and they're not capable of doing things. But to me, when you're the outright favourites, you've got to be in the position of a team like, say, Man City, or you could even argue Liverpool now with having a player like Salah. You know what I'm saying? But with us, I believe we may be a couple players short. But in terms of time, I don't know. It kind of looks like if he starts going backwards, or you can feel like what he's doing isn't working, then that's the time you start looking at it. But then how many years to continue? Because how much years is second going to be good? How much years, time, money you're going to spend? Because I don't even think the money you spent is nothing so far compared to when we wasn't spending money, compared to what other teams have spent, and compared to what the average transfer costs these days. Because I don't know if there's many players you'd say he paid over the odds for. I don't know if there's many players. Don't get me wrong, he has made some bum signings in the past that are no longer with us.
I mean,
Huh?
if you look at the players he's brought in, I'm trying to think who's been a flop out of all the players he's
There
brought
were
in.
someone bought some, but they're players we hardly even probably won't even remember them.
That he's brought in Declan Rice, he's brought in Duran Timber, he's brought in Calafiori, he's brought in Havertz, he's brought in Jorginho, he's brought in. I mean, there's a lot of players, and I think,
William.
oh yeah, William. Okay, William. He brought in William. He brought in
We bought in bro. We bought in what's his name?
Mount
Nuno, the left back. Turner.
Tavares.
Yeah, he's bought a few bums, bro. He's bought a few bums. Still, he has.
But the bums he's bought, yeah, he hasn't paid over the odds. Sambi Lakonga, I think
Yeah,
probably the biggest bum in terms of like the price paid. I think we paid like
yeah.
25, 30 mil for him. I think.
But bro, like I said, he's a new manager, and he was obviously gonna make mistakes. You know, you got the whole goalkeeper thing where everyone said he should have kept Martinez, but I think that was an attitude thing why he didn't keep him.
I mean, to me, I still think we should have kept him. I
Mm.
mean, but then again, you look at it, you say, look, the brother's been at Arsenal for 10 years at that point. Never really cemented or held down second choice goalkeeper. You know, and then that one season he that when Leno got injured and he blossomed and you know he was or is the type of goalkeeper Arteta likes. Good with his feet,
Yeah,
good with his hands. Do you know what I'm saying? He's gone on to win the World Cup since. He's gone on to win the Copa America since. He's done good things. But for me, I still think that was a mistake because he was already there. So we didn't need to spend 30 mil on Ramsdale and then spending another 30 mil on Raya. I think that was
yeah,
there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
60 mil. That's 60 mil saved. But that might not possibly be Arteta's calling. That might have been Edu. That might have been Edu trying to get spend
It did
money.
look like,
Trying
regardless
to
of how it came about, it was kind of a roundabout to just do the same thing in it, really. But Raya, like, you can't complain about Raya, but even Ramsdale is in like,
Raya is fantastic. Raya is
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah,
Again,
really good.
similar to Ramsdale, he came in under a storm. No one wanted Ramsdale. I certainly didn't want Ramsdale. He came, but the same thing when Raya came. Raya came and was like, bruv, why is this guy here? We've got a fan's favorite. I mean, I used to go to games, yeah? I used to go to games. I used to sit next to Ramsdale's dad or stand next to Ramsdale's dad. Like, I used to chat to
Mm.
him. I remember talking to Ramsdale's dad at Selhurst Park at Crystal Palace. And I think we just had the rumor of Raya coming in. He was like, nah, man. Aaron welcomes it, man. Aaron needs it. That's what his dad was saying. Like
Mm.
his dad, his whole family. Ramsdale was just, as soon as he came Arsenal, he became the fan favorite because he knew.
Yeah.
So when he got displaced, it was like, now what's Arteta doing? And then on top of that,
Yeah,
Arteta's telling us, oh, don't worry, the two are gonna play. I'm gonna rotate. There's gonna be games when I might even sub one on and like saying, saying all these.
yeah.
Let me
Because I
just say,
remember do you remember there was a big thing about substituting goalkeepers after that? Jokes, bro. Anything Arsenal do just gets blown up. Oh, he's subbing goalkeepers now. It's like, oh, calm down, man. He didn't even, did he ever do that?
nah, no one ever. He never did that. He never did that. No one ever does that because you don't want to settle your back line. You don't want to settle your back line. But so yeah, we was talking about the starting lineup. So
Yeah,
Sterling's a no for you. So you're going with the same back four of
it's not. It's what I think he'll do rather than what I want. It's more that what I think we'll go with. So I think against Man City, like you said, he's rested Martinelli. So it'll be that front three. Trossard on the other side. Rice will obviously play. Odegaard will obviously play. Where Partey will play is the question. Um, Obviously, you know where Partey will play was a question, but you know the rest of our defense will be, and whether he starts with Timber,
let me make a point to you. Yeah, if
yeah,
we lose that game, yeah, which is on
yeah,
the second, the
yeah,
window starts the day after.
yeah.
Emirates is going to be on fire. Yeah, if if we lose that game and the window shut in the 24 hours later, yeah, Emirates will be on fire because the point is going to be made. Why didn't we sign no one? And listen, to a degree, we don't even have to lose for anyone for that to be loud and strong.
It depends.
To buy someone now.
The only thing that will soften the blow when we don't get someone. 'Cause I'm gonna say I'm preparing myself for the work for it not happening. When we don't get the only thing that could make that not hit as hard is if we blaze City. if we blaze them away, that's the only thing. Like blaze them, have his hat trick or some madness like that. You know what I'm saying? To have his hat trick and bro, a five. That's the only thing because that's the only thing that will do it. We'd have to blow them out of the park, bro. But that's
Piss me off. No Diddy.
unlikely to happen,
Blow them out the park. No Diddy. No Diddy.
bro. Yeah. Twice that happened the first time I got mad. Pause. But yeah. That match is going to be a cagey match in my for whatever reasons. In my eye, I'll be very surprised if we blow him away. I'll be very surprised if we get blown away. I don't think anyone's going to put.
As long as it's a fair game, like
Yeah. But we'll talk about the referee in a minute. But yeah. What was your original point again? I went off on one something.
I was saying if we don't.
Oh, the transfer. Yeah.
If we lose and don't sign no one, like I think that message is gonna. I think Emirates is fire.
You know what? There's going to be dramas. It's going to be. We're in that age now where everything, it's going to be on Sky. It's going to be on this. Everyone's going to be talking about it for 2 weeks, just like it was with the ref decision. And then the results will go ahead and result, and then it will quiet down after a bit. It's always the same thing, isn't it? And then the only thing that will soften the blow is if Arsenal actually win something or go on a good run. But anything but a win of something this season, and then that all that noise is going to be around us again. That's the only thing that can quiet it. The only thing that can quiet and justify it is if we win something. If we don't do that, 1 second, just got to charge up my phone. If we don't do that, then it's madness. 1 minute, bro.
Okay, cool. So on the topic of that, give me like your match prediction or your score prediction.
Put me on the spot, First time on YouTube, live on Big Stricto Show. Once more, it's going to be my prediction.
Yeah, give me your score prediction. And people in the comments, give your score prediction.
Yeah. I want to see what some people are saying as well. What you guys think? I don't want to be boring. Go for the usual 2-1. But 2-0 Arsenal. 2-0 Arsenal. That's going to be with my heart, not so much with the brain. My brain says a draw, but I'm not gonna. This is the first time I'm on an Arsenal fan channel. You know what I mean? I've got to show some love. I've got to show some belief. Yeah. 2-0 Arsenal. Yeah, 2-0 Arsenal. That's what I'm going for. Cagey match at home. Maybe we score one in the first half, then late in the second half, and just play it out. That's if everything. That's if we get no injuries. That's not considering injuries or ref interference. Because I think something we need to talk on is how this refereeing decision, just the general noise around it, is going to affect how people ref our games. I think normally it's not panic, but yeah, we've not had good luck with ref this season.
A6 says I reckon City will win. Woo! A6, were you Arsenal man or your City man or Liverpool man? Let me know in the comment. Okay, I know. Final before we go. I know we're sort of running out of time. I'm gonna try to play this clip if I can. Hold on. So this is Gary Neville. I don't even have the clip. I have it on my phone, so let me play it through my phone.
They become so entitled. Honestly, are Arsenal? I mean, playing against Wolves. Wolves got more bad decisions against them in the last 15 months than any other club in the country, it feels like. They had some shockers against them last season. I just feel like every time Arsenal have a decision against them, it was a bad decision. But there is a definite exaggeration from Arsenal and their cohort of people in their sort of sphere about every time they have a decision go against them.
So yeah, he's saying there's an exaggeration from
No, what gets exaggeration is the initiative I've noticed. When you moan about things again, people exaggerate how often you moan. Arsenal, we don't moan about every red card, every yellow card. We don't. But you got to think when we argue, and there's always a point of view where, yeah, that's a bit harsh, that's a bit funny. Like the decisions we've got this season, you will never see them again.
ever.
Yeah, you will never see them again. You never see man, and that's not to say. And the thing is, they're saying, "Oh, this team gets harder." Well, let that team talk up. Why don't you pay when they're talking up, when Wolves fans are talking up to they got teeth, why are you not paying much attention to when Arsenal say it? You give us more attention when we say something than when another fan says something. And then you got these other fans that say, oh, when it happens to Wolves, why don't you talk up? Why are we going to talk up for another team? What we're not going to do is moan at you and say you're moany or you're wrong. We just don't get involved. Do you know what I'm saying? But what it is, whenever Arsenal says something, it's magnified to, every time Arsenal. No, it hasn't been every time. It hasn't been every time. And the times we have said it, they have been dubious decisions. Like some people could say, all right, then the Saliba one, I was like, okay, them ones are the ones I kind of think are more fairer because you can see is a play, a ref can judge it as you're the last man he didn't see with you. To me, that's a fairish one. But the Trossard one, the Declan Rice one is crazy. Like that, the Declan Rice one. So what are you saying? If a man puts a ball by your foot, he passed it to his foot, because there's another clip here where if you're looking at it, it hits the back of Declan's heel first, then it goes round, and he only flicks it a little bit. But I'm not even getting into all that. The point is, he rolled the ball towards him. We was on top. There's no reason for Declan Rice to kick it away, really, to waste time. Yeah. And my man just booted him. So you're saying you can just put a ball in there, man. If you can just boot the man as well.
I mean, there's a lot of inconsistencies and everything. Like, first of all, the Declan Rice one, I was at the stadium, but I was losing my head for that one because when you're in the stadium, you don't really know half the time what's going on. When you're watching at home, they tell you, like we didn't even know who'd been sent off. Whether it was we thought originally it was the Brighton man for kicking Declan Rice.
Come on, he's kicking him, yeah.
That's what we saw. And then when we saw Declan Rice walking off, I was like, bruv, they sent him off it. So that's, for me, that's unfair. Of course, we're gonna talk.
When you heard the VAR, you've got no choice. You've got no. What do you mean you've got no choice?
Of course,
you've got no choice. Yeah,
the same referee did not do it when who kicked the ball away the other day. He did not. I was against Everton. Someone kicked the ball, and I was losing my mind.
Bro, you don't see it.
Everyone's screaming like, "Bro, you can't. You're not even giving a yellow."
Yeah.
We did the same thing at this ground. You think we're gonna forget? Forget? And then the penalty against Saliba against Brighton.
Against Brighton again.
Never see that penalty again.
Nope.
Trossard one, you'll never see that again. And of course, the Mars Lewis Skelly one, you will never see that in football ever. Not even in the league, in the Premier League, you will never see that in football.
No, that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. So those are 4 or 5 incidents we're talking about. We're not talking about every time the man
this season, by the way.
And the thing is, it reminds me, it's like a bunch of people when you can see something and a bunch of people saying, no, it's not that, you're correct. Like, no, I'm not correct. Like, why did I just make this scenario up? It doesn't even make sense. I didn't just sit here and thought, I want to be. So it's like when you talk too much about something, people just see it as you're moaning. They're not even looking at the incident. They're just more bothered about you talking about the incident. It's like something's reflected in society as well. When you talk on a problem, when these certain people talk, a certain group talk about we're being you know, it's not going too deep. But when a certain group bring up an issue and the other groups, I'm not going to go too deep because I know where you know you can read it between the lines. One group of people saying there's an issue here, another group who have the more power and can't relate are saying no, it's tribalism. You have, but one thing I do say on that last decision, a lot of rival fans were calling it out unfair. They were calling it out for, but then you got another bunch of fans just like, and this is why I don't like going on social media so much, especially TalkSport or things like that, bro. The comments, people are just literally dumb. They're dumb. Like, it's literally like when you talk about when people come to voting for certain parties and stuff, people just see what they want to see. And people like pundits, and this is the issue now, you got professional pundits who buy into this as well. Like, what is Neville talking about? Every time it's Arsenal, so you haven't seen it. You don't need to bring it because the tribalism comes in as well.
Remember when we beat Liverpool and they were saying, why are we celebrating? Like it's always, like, there's nothing we could do, bro. Like, we celebrate.
Why do you celebrate? Why do you score from corners? Why do you moan against unfair decisions? Why don't you moan when the decisions go for you? Like, who moans when the decision? I've never seen anyone moan when this is. The one thing I do remember is when we had to do the FA Cup replay with was it Sheffield Wednesday? Sheffield United. Yeah? But no one talks about that, but we're a dirty bro, and that's just the thing. People were saying, you know, Arsenal are a dirty team. They need a discipline. They got a discipline issue. We're not a dirty team though, bro. We don't do mad tackles. We don't even play like Stoke in terms of the tackling and stuff. All we do is stand up for ourselves. So I remember for years we got called soft, but now we're too hard.
Too hard. No
dark hearts.
No Diddy.
Yeah.
I call it, buddy. You gotta be aware.
Too strong. Too strong, man. Too strong.
Listen, Colin, man. Listen, I gotta wrap it up here, man.
Yes, bro. Thanks for bringing me in, man. First guest,
man. First guest. Like I said, this is gonna be.
My bro.
I'm gonna try to bang out two a week. No Diddy before someone comes in the comment. Bang at least 2 of these shows out a week. So yeah, people look out for them. Like I said, Hardman's got our thing coming, so look out for that. Thank you very much, Colin, for coming on. I truly
appreciate it, bro.
I've enjoyed your points and your comments. So yeah, man. So yeah, people, don't forget to hit the likes. Don't forget to share.
Subscribe.
We've got the In the Stands, Arsenal's #1 match day vlog in the stands. So look out for that. Should be a big one against City. So make sure you tune in for that. Big up yourself, whatever you're doing. Make sure you stay safe. And there's love to you and to your family always. Let's go. Come on,
Peace. Peace. Come on, Arsenal.
I went from strict to strict. Understand? Only person I owe is myself. Strict.